Hello, everybody, and welcome to United Talks podcast. This is United Talks Live. We're breaking down everything with regards to Manchester United and all the news that we have over the last 24 hours and everything in between, basically. Currently, I think I'm just kind of loosely keeping track of what's going on in the Europa League with a lot of games going on right now. And I'm specifically focused on Nottingham Forest, and you all know why I'm focused on Nottingham Forest, because of a certain player that Man United are interested in. We're also going to talk about him in this live, and that is Elliot Anderson. So we're going to keep our eyes on him and try to see how things are going. Nottingham Forest considered a goal, but it was chopped off because of offside or handball or something. They're playing against Porto. They're one goal up, and everything is going pretty well or pretty dandy for Nottingham Forest under Sean Dyche. It's a bit chaotic. I'm surprised that Porto, who were unbeaten, yes, was offside. How is this offside? Ooh, how is that offside? His hand? Oh my days. Samu Omorodion is the one offside, or Samu Agahoa. That's his name. Samuel Agahoa, Spanish international. Yeah, basically things are going really well, nice and dandy for Nottingham Forest, but under new manager Sean Dyche. So yeah, we're gonna keep going. There's a whole lot of news, but let me just quickly give you some of the major score lines for the Europa League game. We have basically Victoria Pilsen beating two fantastic goals from Victoria Pilsen to score against Roma 2-1. Young Boys are leading Ludogorets 2-1. So major games. PAOK are beating Lille. Freiburg are beating Utrecht. Feyenoord are beating Panathinaikos 2-1. Celta Vigo are drawing 1-1 with Nice. All games are around 59 to 61 minutes. So a whole lot going on at Manchester United. So let me know some feelings in the comment section. And a whole lot going on in the world of football as well. Let me know some feelings in the comment section as we build towards, the games, and we plan towards what we have to do, especially in the weekend against Brentford and everything in between. Yeah, as you can see here. Here. Brentford. We're playing Brentford in the weekend. I think Nottingham Forest have an attack with Hudson-Odoi, and he tries to pass the ball, and it's cleared by Porto. But it is what it is. Hudson-Odoi has his collar lifted up. Anyway, it is what it is. We have to keep moving. All things being equal, Manchester United should be able to deliver against Nottingham Forest. But then we go on with the news. Just give you like a quick rundown, which notable news. And my United news today centers around a flurry of transfer stories, including Marcus Rashford expressing a desire to make his loan move to Barcelona permanent. Separately, reports claim that United are interested in Atletico Madrid midfielder Conor Gallagher, which we'll talk about in details down the line. Other transfer news, Rashford, like in regards to that Rashford situation, Marcus Rashford wants permanent move to Barcelona on loan at Barcelona for the 25-26 season. Forward Marcus Rashford stated that he needed a change from Manchester United and hopes to make his move permanent. Barcelona has an option to buy the 27-year-old for 30 million euros at the season's end. What do you guys think about that one? I mean, for Marcus Rashford, let's just go into details with that news. Marcus Rashford is, according to Athletic, Marcus Rashford wants to stay at Barcelona beyond his one-year loan deal from Manchester United. 27-year-old England international said he needed a change after two decades with the Premier League club. Barcelona have the option of Rashford's to sign Rashford for 30 million pounds, which is like 26 million. 30 million euros, which is like 26 million pounds. And at the end of this 25-26 season, he featured regularly for Hansi Flick side so far, recording 5 goals, providing 6 assists in 12 appearances. That is 11 goals, assists in 12 appearances. That is amazing. But it is what it is. Other things. So when he was asked by the ESPN, he said, "Oh yeah, for sure." Rashford told ESPN on wanting to stay at the Catalan club. "I'm enjoying this football, and I think for anybody who loves football, Barcelona is one of the key clubs in the history of the game. For a player, it's an honor." Rashford, who spent the second half of 24-25 season on loan at Aston Villa, was allowed to leave United again this summer after falling out of favor under head coach Ruben Amorim. The striker did not. Is he a striker or the winger? The winger did not feature for United since December 2024. Having joined United age 7, Rashford cited his length of time at the club as a reason for wanting an exit. He says it was so many years in one place. Rashford said, "People forget this, but 23 years of my life was with Manchester United. So sometimes you just need a change, and I think maybe this is maybe this is the case with me. And yeah, I'm enjoying everything." So that's what Marcus Rashford had to say. And then all of the talk on the Athletic is like that Marcus Rashford favored a move to Barcelona, with sporting director Deco keeping close tabs on him, as they reported in January ahead of the move. Basically, Rashford's contract at United does not expire until 2028. He expressed his desire to stay at Barcelona beyond the initial loan deal. Rashford scored 138 times in 426 appearances for Manchester United after breaking into the first team from the academy in 2015-16. That's under Van Gaal. He has been reintegrated into the England squad by head coach Thomas Tuchel, after being omitted by Gareth Southgate for last year's European Championship, appearing in 3 of the 4 squads Tuchel has selected since the change. Barcelona face Real Madrid, who are 2 points above them at the top of La Liga, in the Clásico of the season at the Bernabeu on Sunday. So it looks like Marcus Rashford is playing to stay at Barca. I mean, when he was at Man United, before he got this last contract that took him to 2028, he wanted to, how do I put this? So he wanted to play at Man United, but then obviously he wanted a new contract, hence why he was given that contract under Ten Hag. And people were saying, I was defending Rashford at the time, but people were saying, oh, he wanted to play for a new contract, a higher fee and all of that. So yeah, it's all left to all of us to kind of, make of it what we will. But in truth, Marcus Rashford is now playing for a deal at Barcelona. You have to see the patterns to know what direction this person is taking. Another one is with regards to Paul Parker. Paul Parker says that he has accused Rashford of laziness at Manchester United. England former footballer Paul Parker commented on Barcelona's forward Marcus Rashford's performance. According to him, if Rashford was to return to England, he would need to prove that he has changed, and this was reported by Eurofootball RU. According to Paul Parker, Rashford showed himself poorly in front of his teammates and did not put in enough effort. Parker has emphasized that few footballers in the United Kingdom have confidence in Rashford. It should be recalled that Rashford has been loaned to Barcelona until the end of the season. He played 12 matches for the Catalan club with 5 goals and 6 assists. Rashford's future career and return to England are yet unknown. His results at Barcelona are being closely watched by the club and the fans. So Paul Parker was saying Marcus Rashford is lazy at Man United, probably because he knows that this is his lifeline is on this. He's not playing really well, but it is what it is. This is according to Paul Parker. And then obviously, before we get to the other ones, there's an interest. So we're going to talk about Conor Gallagher now before we go on to talk about other things. But there's an interest in Conor Gallagher. Manchester United reportedly having a genuine interest in Conor Gallagher, in signing the Atletico Madrid midfielder in January transfer window. United failed to secure the player in the summer and may return with fresh approach after. First attacking, just give me one sec. First attacking, Hudson-Odoi is holding or play, passes to Nico Williams back to Hudson-Odoi. And yeah, the attack dies. And then to Elliot Anderson, who is the one player I'm watching. And yeah, that is where it ends. Okay, maybe they're trying to cross in, and the crossing on this field cross, a blocked cross. So there's an attempt to return with an approach as he struggled for regular playing time at Atletico Madrid. So if we're going to go deep into the detail, that's according to just give me one sec, Mundo Deportivo. A member of the midfield ranks of La Liga giants Atletico is attracting strong interest by the way of the Premier League. According to Mundo Deportivo, citing market insider Ben Jacobs, who points towards Conor Gallagher as the player in question, midfielder Gallagher is set for his part in the midst of what has been a challenging opening to the new campaign at Atletico Madrid. Across Atletico's 12 outings in all competitions, the Englishman has been afforded starts in just 4. Forest are defending for their lives, man. Murillo is such a powerful defender. Ahead of next year's World Cup, Gallagher has in turn been tipped to seek out a winter exit in search of a more consistent playing time, and as alluded to above, in the case of as much, the former Chelsea man looks unlikely to be short of suitors. As per a report from MD Mundo Deportivo, citing Porto has a chance and Nottingham Forest clears it. They're trying to break Nottingham Forest's defensive line. It's Sean Dyche. Come on. Sean Dyche always does this low block thing and long balls thing. If an slot has not seen long balls, welcome to Sean Dyche ball. Well, it is what it is. Now, I know why I mentioned an slot, and I'll come to it pretty much later. As per Mundo Deportivo, citing the aforementioned Ben Jacobs during the appearance on the United stand, Manchester United have a genuine interest in bringing Gallagher to Old Trafford. After coming up shop in a soup for the 25-year-old over the summer, the Red Devils are ready to return to the table with fresh approach for Gallagher following the turn of the year. What do you guys think about Gallagher? Put it in the comment section. Let's discuss this. I went further to break it to find out. You know, I think Football Insider was mentioned. Also, TalkSport mentioned it as well, and TalkSport has mentioned it. Jose Sa just made an interesting save. TalkSport has mentioned it through Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook. It says Conor Gallagher wanted by Manchester United as 6-man midfield shortlist revealed. Okay, so shout out to my friend Sal of Stretford Post. He mentioned this when we were on a live yesterday, and he talked about the list and also talked about the so that's why I got it. Actually, he talked about Gallagher. I've heard the Gallagher stuff and all, but you know, when Sal mentioned it, I had to go dig deep, and actually there's actually a list of Man United players or midfielders. Manchester United are open to adding 2 new midfielders in 2026, and Ruben Amorim is seeking more pace and athleticism in centre of the park at Old Trafford. This is according to Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook. And United know that Kobe Mainoo's long-term future is uncertain, while Bruno Fernandes could still be sold next summer. Casemiro's contract expires in the summer, although United have the option to trigger a 1-year extension. So the Brazilian is highly valued by Amorim, and it remains possible he extends his stay beyond the end of the season, despite interest from Brazilian and Saudi Pro League clubs. Now, one of the players in the list is Carlos Balde. 101. Ooh, that is Hudson-Odoi missed the 101, was probably blocked. Wow, that was sick. So Nottingham Forest are playing against Porto, and Nottingham Forest are winning 1-0, and Porto are attacking right now. Porto have found it hard to break Nottingham Forest. The reason why I'm watching the Nottingham Forest games is because of Elliot Anderson, who is one of the midfielders I'm checking out, and basically just checking out Sean Dyche, you know, just the manager bounce, just to keep us, you know, engaged in this conversation. Elliot Anderson, speaking of Elliot Anderson, he creates the through pass. You should have squared that ball. Should have squared the ball. It's better you squared the ball with your left foot than to try that thing and then the defender blocks it, because he was waiting for you. So yeah, Hudson-Odoi missed that chance. Wants to kill Sean Dyche. Anyway, Bednarek was one that saved it. Bednarek, you remember Bednarek? Brighton. Yep, he's at Porto now. Jan Bednarek. No, not Brighton. Southampton. Jan Bednarek is Southampton. United were not quoted. Okay, so with regards to the list, we have Carlos Baleba, Elliot Anderson, we have Adam Wharton, Angelo Stiller, and we have Conor Gallagher, and then we have Andre Santos. But then that's the list that Man United made, right? So we will talk about the list from the perspective of Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba remains a target for Man United, but Brighton have entirely ruled out a January sale. That's facts. Then United were not quoted any price over the summer when initial talks took place, and aware that there will be competition for Cameroon internationals signature. So yeah. And then the next person on that list is Elliot Anderson, who is also appreciated, but no talks of note have yet taken place. They're going to Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook. The England international is understood to be reticent. That's a British word. To be reticent to leave Nottingham Forest mid-season, even with Sean Dyche's side currently in the bottom three. Thomas Tuchel has told Anderson if he continues his current form, he'll be part of the England squad for the 2026 World Cup. Just to give you a bit of a background, Anderson was one of those players that was moved around during that PSL situation that was going on between Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Aston Villa, and the likes. You know, when they were doing that PSR thing, they had to sell Anderson from Newcastle to Nottingham Forest, and now he's 22 years old and he's doing great things. He's athletic. He just got fouled by Gabri Viega. I think it's going to be the player is going to be given a yellow card. He's so athletic. He's so powerful. He's so strong. Yeah, and he gives you that Bruno Fernandes vibes, literally. So holds the ball, tries to make that, yeah, and he wears the number 8. He gives you that Bruno Fernandes vibe, athletic, strong, box to box, dictation of play kind of player. And then you also have Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton is of interest to Manchester United. United are one of several Premier League clubs also keeping tabs on Crystal Palace. Adam Wharton, who could yet sign improved terms at Selhurst Park. Wharton has not to date agitated to leave Crystal Palace, but looking to play Champions League football at some point in his career. But he's still young. I think he's 22 or 21. He's contracted until 2029 and is another player who is not expected to entertain a mid-season move. That's facts. Also, another player that's on that list is Angelo Stiller. Let's see. He's giving me like Bruno vibes, the way he runs. I know I've been watching him anyway. Angelo Stiller, that's Elliot Anderson I'm talking about. So Angelo Stiller is another player. Stuttgart's Angelo Stiller is another name to watch and is understood to be tempted by Premier League switch. United did not make a bid over the summer, but basically monitoring the 24-year-old Germany international. Stiller has a release clause of around £35 million, but Stuttgart can pay a fee in the region of 1.5 million to remove that from his contract. So he's of good interest to Man United. Everybody's saying he's such a good player. He's a dictator of players, athletic, and all of that. And then the next person we have on our list is Conor Gallagher. He's pretty much struggled under Diego Simeone. And when I saw that deal when he moved from Chelsea, Hudson-Odoi beats one player, and then you have Anderson again, dictating play, and then back to Hudson-Odoi, who tries to cross, and Porto defended well, and he's back. They didn't clear the ball out again. Oh yeah, he's trying to. Yeah, you're going to get a yellow card. You're diving. It's Europe. It's not England. You're going to get a yellow card. You dived. And in Europe, you don't dive. You get a yellow card. So, what it is. Yep, he gets a yellow card. So, that's pretty much straightforward with regards to Conor Gallagher. When I saw him move to Chelsea, let's see that he dived. That's dodgy. That's dodgy. That's dodgy. They have to check that, man. He stretched out his leg. Yeah, they have to check it. Yeah. It's dodgy. It's a pen. It's a pen. Forest might have a second penalty, and Gibbs White might take it. Yeah, man, it's dodgy. So the guy stretched his leg and tried to remove it, but the guys, you've already kicked. Oh man. Yeah. That's according to Martin. That's Martin. Don't explain. Just allow the ref to do their job, man. Yeah. So pretty much straightforward with Conor Gallagher. When he moved from Chelsea to Atletico, I felt that was a mismatch. An English player, I mean, obviously, this Newcastle right back went there, right? He went to Atletico Madrid and still did really well and came back. So if we're looking at it, yeah. Oh yeah, it's a penalty. Ooh, they gave it. Dang it. They gave the penalty. I said it, that you just don't kick people like that. Like that's, and the yellow card will be taken off as well for diving. So yeah, it's a penalty. Thought he dived, but the guy already went in first, and then the guy who slid, Martin slid, and yeah, he slid and yeah, left his trailing foot. Yeah, it's a pen. Newcastle United right back, I keep forgetting his name. He was a good right-footed player. Let's just quickly check Newcastle. We have Newcastle United. So he went to Atletico Madrid, tried his best. Trippier. Thought I've brought in Zaidu. Where do I remember this Zaidu? Zaidu is a Nigerian wing back or left wing back, right wing back, something. Yeah, that's how I remember this Zaidu guy. Trippier went to Atletico, played I think 3 or 4 years, and then 2 years, and then came back. So basically, when I saw his move, I was like, this move doesn't seem very. It's a mismatch. I felt it was a mismatch for his move to Manchester United, I keep saying Manchester United, for his move to Atletico Madrid. But then you have to think about it from perspective of, okay, he needed more playing time, and the manager at the time of Chelsea did not want him. And then obviously Chelsea were trying to move away from the players. Okay, this is another player that is playing that pen. What's his name? Yeah, Diego Costa is not catching that. Legendary Diego Costa is not catching it. Let's see how that goes. So Nottingham Forest have a second pen in the 76th minute. The player that fouled was given a yellow card, and yeah, Forest have that pen. Yeah, scores it, blazes it down the middle, and the goal is done. Forest have first win in like 10 games. Oh man, first win in 10 games. Yeah. Sean Dyche, a manager bounce. I hope that they don't carry that manager bounce when we play them in 2 weeks. Yeah, I hope the manager bounce dies before we get to play them in 2 weeks. Yeah, so yeah, I played it to the middle. You can't catch that one. If you have to be very decisive if you're doing it. Yeah, it was a good pen. Hit it really hard. Igor Jesus, that's his name, number 19. So yeah, I felt it was a mismatch. But when he went there, he played a few games, and people were like lauding him, and he was like, okay, was a really good player for them. And I see him as that Mason Mount kind of player, but more of a midfielder, like a more central midfielder, can play as a defensive midfielder. Watched him play in Crystal Palace when he went on loan. Also watched him play in where's that? Watched him play when he came back to Chelsea and all of that. So I felt like, he could have, done better, but Chelsea didn't want him. They saw him as surplus requirement. Also, I think he was Chelsea captain at one point, and then down he's gone. Like it has gone downhill for him since then. Would he be a good squad addition to the team? Maybe. Would he be a good player that would thrive under Amorim's system? Maybe. He's that kind of player that gives you the Mason Mount vibes, the disruptor, the progressor of the ball. Does he still have that passing range? Maybe. And he's only 25, so... But it's back to the English media press, and it's back to the English media and the whole press thing, and coming to Manchester United is going to be really, really huge for him. So Conor Gallagher could be possibly on the move in January, and it's a more feasible name to get mid-season compared to the other targets. Maybe a loan move might not be as bad. So United have made a summer loan approach for the midfielder, but Atletico Madrid were only prepared to sanction the permanent sale. Gallagher is open to return to England, having struggled for minutes this season. Although he's made 9 La Liga appearances, he's yet to start or finish a match. Then you have Atleti want a fee in excess of £35 million, while United will still prefer a loan formula if they are to reignite their interest. So a loan will not be bad. We will get to see what happens after that. We'll get to see if, like, we'll have a taste of what he's like and what he offers the team coming into Man United. Then we have another one who's on the list. His name is Andre Santos. Chelsea's Andre Santos, another ambitious United target. The Brazilian has discussed initially during the early stage talks that eventually saw Alejandro Garnacho move to Stamford Bridge for 40 million without a player going the other way. Santos has made 8 appearances in all competitions this season after an impressive spell with Chelsea's sister club Strasbourg last campaign. And then obviously Chelsea's position is clear. Santos is simply not for sale. Saudi club Al Qadsiya were also informed of this over the summer when they made a formal approach for the 21-year-old. Santos was somewhat open to listening to options in the early part of the summer with Bayern Munich and other clubs. With Bayern Munich, another club who expressed interest, but he was always going to give priority to Chelsea to assess how much game time he would be afforded, that would be afforded to him, and enough has come to satisfy the midfielder. So, and the Santos is a no-go area. Back to Elliot Anderson. Speaking to a Forest fan on the live yesterday, basically, Elliot Anderson is a no-go. We also talk about Chelsea not selling Andre Santos. So sources say that he's now content with enough minutes and will come at Chelsea and to stand a chance of going to 2026 World Cup with Brazil. That Brazil team is stacked. I don't think it's even going to make it, man. That Brazil team is stacked. Especially in that midfield as well. Casemiro is definitely going to that World Cup. So although United will be alert should Santos become available on the market, it would be a surprise if Chelsea look to sell in 2026. I mean, I won't put it past them for them to find a way to sell him. I mean, Chelsea are a selling club, whether we like it or not. So that is that about Andre Santos. In other gossips, I think there's no... England centre-back. Forest are really defending well, and Elliot Anderson is putting in his efforts, defending really well. Ooh. Wow. Douglas Luiz, yeah. Douglas Luiz, rather. Douglas Luiz is really defending well for Forest. Now, England centre-back Harry Maguire could leave Manchester United for free when his contract comes to an end next summer, as the Old Trafford club have yet to offer the 32-year-old a new deal. Trust me, there will not be shortage of clubs. According to the Daily Mail, I think, let's see where this is coming from. Man United confidential. Why Anfield hero Harry Maguire's future is hanging in the balance, while Ruben Amorim's side had to undergo media marathon after famous win and punishment revealed for man who attacked fan who won't cut his hair. That news made the rounds. Let's talk about the Harry Maguire one. Maybe we'll reach that other aspect if we can. Harry Maguire's future at Man United is hanging in the balance, with the club under pressure to decide if he will be offered a new contract or risk losing their Anfield hero as a free agent. Now, let's talk about this Harry Maguire situation, because the truth is, the media seems to always want to paint it that Harry Maguire's contract, or Harry Maguire's playing career at Man United was totally dead. He was like literally down and out. But the truth is, his career has been on the upward trajectory for a while now. Basically, being impact players, being an impact player at the club, coming on as a sub, resigned to his position in the team, not being the first choice, seeing as Man United has signed, what's his name? Matthias de Ligt. But then you come out and you say, oh, Harry Maguire is his career is back on track and all of that, despite all the pressures. Yeah, he's gone through a lot of pressure and everything playing for Manchester United. But yeah, his career is not back on track. His career has been back on track since time, right? But yeah, he's now the Anfield hero as well. And he despite if he will, I mean, with the club under pressure to decide if he will be offered a new contract. That's for Harry Maguire. Another player, you see, Elliot Anderson. Yeah, there's this guy I watched at Forest sometime because I didn't like him. I didn't like the way he played. He's their captain, and I think he was injured for the most part. But Anderson came in and filled that spot, and that is Yates. Yates is the athletic midfielder then for Forest, right? And then when he came, I know Yates, every time he comes in, he always fouls. When they play against Man United, he's always this very aggressive player. And anytime I watch Premier League games, he's always like crazy tackling and, you know, fouling and stuff. He just came on now, and he came on for Douglas Luiz. I mean, like, it is what it is. He's the captain of Nottingham Forest, the actual captain. Now, they talked about how Harry Maguire headed the late goal at Liverpool on Sunday, and he's entering the final 8 months of his contract deal and could sign a pre-contract with foreign clubs from January 1. So that is the Maguire situation. Yeah, that's pretty much straightforward. Nothing per se. That's according to the Daily Mail. Then you also have France striker Jean-Philippe Mateta, 28, is thought to want to leave Crystal Palace with Manchester United, Newcastle, and Tottenham Forest, and Tottenham Hotspur, you know, possible destinations according to Court Offside. So I don't know. West Ham. Okay, so before we go, let's look at what Court Offside is saying about that. Manchester United are one of clubs showing interest in a potential transfer move for Crystal Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta. The France international has shown for Palace and is now as unlikely to engage in talks over a new contract, alerting Man United and others, as I first reported here for the Daily Mail, for the Daily Briefing. Who is this? His name is Mark Bruce. Yeah, United could do with a top striker like that as an upgrade on the underpop. God, oh my days! These guys are so like, yeah. Yates is the one. Is that kind of player that always drags. He always gets the foul. Now these guys are crazy. Like, think about this. United could go to do with a top striker like that as an upgrade on the underperforming Benjamin Šeško, while he'd also surely make a good fit for clubs like, this is just an opinion piece. There's nothing it's nothing to this one. Basically, it's just a rumor, right? Yeah, it's just a rumor, trust me, guys. There's nothing to it at all. Now, basically, if you look at it, it's not that much of a bad player. I'm not gonna lie, not that much of a bad player. Before we go to the next one, which is talking about Ivan Toney, let's talk about what the Sun posted about Man United, and we'll analyze it. It sounds like it's facts, because in truth, and a slot doesn't seem to want. Man United lives rent-free in an slot's head. That's all I can tell you guys. Man United lives rent-free in an slot's head. He still kept talking about Man United post-match. They won 5-1. He still kept talking about Man United and all of that. So yeah, it is what it is. We have to just keep observing. So before we get to the Ivan Toney situation, let's talk about the Sun reports, the analysis looks like it's genuine, even with the stats and the dashboard that they put out there. First and foremost, long story short, Man United are officially Premier League's. Hear this. Man United are officially the Premier League's biggest long ball merchants, as stats show how Ruben Amorim made new crazy gang. This is anything Man United is headline for them, guys. Anything Manchester United headline for them, guys. And this according to Etienne Femi. Senelamon's distribution has been a throwback for Manchester United. Man United are officially the season's Premier League long ball kings. Okay, he says Liverpool boss Arne Slot bemoaned the Red Devils' frequent punts down the park following his side's 2-1 home defeat on Sunday. Now, let me tell you guys something. Arne Slot is rattled. Whether we like it or not, Arne Slot is rattled. He just cannot bear to see that Manchester United outwitted him. Ruben Amorim outcoached him, and we dealt with, you know, how they, and he kept saying stuff like, oh, if it were to be the other teams, they didn't, you just won 5-1. Just bask in the 5-1 that you won, instead of, you know, going back and forth and talking about stuff. And he comes up to say, oh, if it were to be the other team, they played this, they played that, or they played long balls, they didn't put the ball on the ground, and stuff. Yeah, quite all right. Nobody, and then he was also worried about Benjamin Sesko not being played, despite the fact that when they studied Man United, obviously the dossier says that we'll start Benjamin Sesko, but we didn't start Benjamin Sesko, and Ruben Amorim shocked him. Right? We didn't know, people didn't even know who was going to be centre forward. I already knew. I basically knew. 90+6 for Nana Ferris versus Porto 2-0. I basically knew that obviously Mount wasn't going to be the main guy and all of that. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah. Now he talked about the 2-1 home defeat, and he said while the Dutchman's comment may have sounded like sour grapes, he may have had a point. Slot said, if you would have told me before the game that against the low block, against so many long balls, that we would have created as many chances as we did, I would like, bro, this doesn't make sense. So if you would have told me that we would have played against a low block and against so many long balls, and then we still would have created, so like if a team is in low block, you're definitely going to create multiple chances. Then he says, I would not expect us to lose. Yeah, but you just weren't lucky on the day and didn't finish your chances. And mind that when they got the chance, they were clinical, and that is what we did. He said we had enough chances to score more than one goal, but on the other hand, again, conceding 2 and one of the 2 are the set piece, bro. Like, because you beat Arsenal, didn't you remember you beat Arsenal through a set piece? Suppose like, come on, guys, like, don't be talking with 2 sides of your mouth. You know, don't be talking with 2 sides of your mouth. Now, this is the stat that really kind of took me unawares. Anyway, he says Man United have attempted 466 long balls this 466 long passes so far this season per Opta, more than any other side. We're going to that. I'm just going to show you something that will give you a bit of an idea. So 466 long passes so far this season per Opta, and that is more than any other side. Amorim's men are narrowly above Wolves at 464 in the top spot, and miles above the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal and Manchester City. These 3 teams that were mentioned are teams that play ball possession, that play possession football. These are teams that play, play out from the back, when they play long ball when they want to beat the press and stuff. So you can't come and say, oh, they're a long ball team, so that's the reason why you can't defend them or you can't play them or something. It's so petty to actually talk about like that. You know, Man United were playing long balls and that was the reason why we didn't beat them or something. Like, you don't talk like that. So it is what Arne Slot said. And if you look at it, like I said, Arsenal, player from back, play possession, play set pieces, they win through set pieces. Everybody has to have a style of play, win through set pieces. Manchester City, possession based, tiki-taka and stuff. And then you also have Liverpool, who also do like pressing and stuff. So you can't like really win balls against them. Then you also have, now with Pep Guardiola's side, Manchester City, they attempted the fewest with just 307, with Arsenal 17th with 350, Liverpool 14th with 366, and Tottenham 12th with 377. The United boss made no secret of his intentions prior to the clash with Liverpool. He said, "We have players with a lot of power up front." Then, speaking of other things, he said, if we win a second ball, we can take all the build-up from the game and have the opportunity to score. We just need to be more aggressive against Liverpool. We must be ready for the game. Every time the ball goes to the keeper, most teams play man-to-man, but sometimes you don't have anyone to play it into, right? So Lamens plays with both feet. It's harder for teams to pressure the keeper from one side, yet he needs to be ready. United new boys and Lamens has made a big difference since replacing Altabander between the sticks. Like I said, he's got one goal. He's considered one goal, but he has kept one clean sheet as well, which something that has been hard to come by for a Man United team this season or even last season as well. And the young Belgium has no qualms with pumping the ball long. During the last decade or so, Prem fans have become accustomed to watching through their fingers as their keepers have riskily played out from the back. So it's been an issue for Manchester United, but Lamens has been something of a throwback, hoofing the ball seemingly to every opportunity, with United resembling Wimbledon's infamous crazy gang of the 1980s, 1990s. There's some truth in this article, but there's also some kind of like narrative being pushed by the article, and we'll talk about it with the pass map from St. Lamens and all of that. I showed you a graphic yesterday with the pass mark before Lamens and after Lamens. So I'll show you a pass map of St. Lamens shortly. But Lamens has been something of a throwback, hoofing the ball seemingly at every opportunity. The 23-year-old didn't go short at all during the Liverpool clash. Nottingham Forest have won 2-0. Sean Dyche's first game and he plays in the Europa League at home. And they beat Porto 2-0. So good 2 goals from Igor Jesus and this other guy, forgotten his name, Morgan Gibbs White. So then this is what he said. The 23-year-old didn't go short. This is what the Sun is saying. The 23-year-old didn't go short at all, during the Liverpool match, completing just 9 of his 46 passes as he opted to pump the ball long, with United then contesting for second balls. That was pretty much how Amorim wanted this team to play against Liverpool, to test their fullbacks, right? That's how Amorim wanted this team to play. Lamens' tactic wasn't merely because his side faced a daunting prospect of travelling to Anfield. His distribution was largely similar against Sunderland and the previous weekend, as he completed 17 of his 44 attempts in that one. So this is the graphic I wanted to show you guys. This is what the Sun posted, basically saying that Lamens 37 incomplete passes, 9 completed passes against Liverpool. And then they go on to talk about this one, the Sunderland one, where he made 17 completed passes in 44 attempts. And you will see where Ruben Amorim said that anytime he passed the ball like that, Benjamin Šeško was always there, to at least touch the ball. He talked about it touching the ball, right? We move on to the next one, the pass map against Sunderland. 17 completed passes, and then he made 17 completed passes, 10 short of 27. So if you look at it, typically you would see that there were some short passes. If you look at those blue lines or whatever you want to call it, there were some short passes that he made. But if they're talking about complete passes, I don't know. Let's compare it with or contrast it with the other one where he was pretty much playing a lot of long balls. So it was more long balls at Liverpool than even at Sunderland and all of that. So it is what it is. In truth, it's better we have a goalkeeper who can distribute than we have an Onana who cannot even save the ball. So that is pretty much what the Sun posted. But has this brand of football seen Man United turned a corner? Interestingly, Jamie Carragher believes that Amorim's 3-4-3 system, which the Portuguese has never wavered in his belief in, only really works against top sides. That's what Jamie Carragher says. And he always has, like I said, Jamie Carragher always has wild takes, right? He always has wild takes. Speaking on Gary Neville's podcast after Sunday's game, the Liverpool legend the Liverpool legend said, listen, it's one result and we can't disguise he's been really poor since he came in. He's coming. And excuses galore, right? And in some ways, it's probably he probably couldn't have got any worse in terms of games they've won, losing that cup final to Spurs, even the start of the season. But twice he's come to Anfield. I think he's been to Man City and won, and they've been to Arsenal maybe once in a cup game and won. And we talk about the system a lot, and one of the reasons why I don't think it suits a club of Manchester United is because I don't think it's a system that puts you on the front foot. You can't get that on the front foot and you can get after teams. It's a system that puts you on the front foot because that is the system and a slot plays. And a slot plays a system and it gets Liverpool on the front foot, But maybe when you are the team who are not expected to go and win a game, it can be a difficult system to break down once you get into the back five and that four in front. Yeah, excuses, bro. He used something that was unpredictable for Liverpool and everybody is salty, right? So you can question that four in front at times, but when you are at home, the attacking players think I should be up this pitch. I'm not really going to get back and shrug and tuck in and defend. So just kept Jamie Carragher talking a lot of his waffling. That's basically what it is. Other news that we can talk about is Ivan Toney. Now that's pretty much about the last one we'll talk about and then break down a few other things before we leave. Ivan Toney is so this is according to Sportsmo. Sportsmo talked about this. We'll break it down. It's by Matt Law from the Sportsmo. He says, could Red Devils make shock move for ex-Brentford star Ivan Toney in January? Man United could reportedly consider. This is another one that my good friend at Stretford Post, Sal, told me about. He said Manchester United could reportedly consider signing Ivan Toney during the January transfer window if it became clear that Al Ahly were looking to move the experienced striker on. The Red Devils spent big on Benjamin Šeško over the summer, and the Slovenia international has scored in 2 of his last 3 appearances for the club. As opposed to the last article that talked about, he's underperforming. Benjamin Šeško is not underperforming, but it is what it is. They'll make their own narrative, and you have to make of it what you will. However, Rasmus Højlund will join Napoli on a permanent deal. On a permanent basis in 2026, while there's currently speculation surrounding Joshua Zirkzee, his future, with West Ham United said to be seriously considering a loan move for the Netherlands international during the January transfer window. Yeah, Joshua Zirkzee, would West Ham move be a good one for him? I think he was going to thrive there, playing under Nuno Espirito Santo. He's going to get a lot of playing time. There's also Fulkrug there, I think. So he's probably going to get a lot of playing time and he's probably going to boost himself for the World Cup. That's Joshua Zirkzee, right? What do you guys think about Joshua Zirkzee? Do you think he's going to go to West Ham? And do you think that it's a good move for him? For me, I feel like if Ruben Amorim is definitely going to not going to give him minutes, and probably we have a chance to kind of establish himself for next season. Why don't we just give him a deal, like send him on loan or something? West Ham are interested. I think we'll check that news out before we go. Set to be serious considering a move for Netherlands international during the January transfer window. Should Xerxes leave, Man United will be short of backup for Sesko, and according to journalist Ben Jacobs, a move for a more experienced striker in January is a possibility. Toney has been mentioned as a potential option, and Jacobs has revealed that 29-year-old could be a target for Man United, who were linked with the Englishman during his time at Brentford. That's what Ben Sesko is saying. That's what Ben Jacobs is saying. Ben Jacobs says Ivan Toney is a very interesting one. At this stage, Al Ahly have just got a new sporting director, and they are adamant that they want to keep Ivan Toney. And the only thing that is going to change that is if they bring in a really important big money striker, and they've got to get the funds to do that. So there could be a domino effect where Toney is sold for a good money and Al Ahly reinvest that on a good striker. Jacobs told United Stand. This was probably one of the shows that Goldbridge did with Ben Jacobs. When asked about Man United's decision to leave the number 9 shirt free, Jacobs says they left it free for a reason. That's what's trending right now on X and all that. Jacobs also said that there is a strong chance that Xerxes will leave in January as the Dutchman looks to secure regular football in the second half of the 25-26 campaign in the hope of being in 2026 World Cup. There is also a realistic chance that Xerxes leaves Manchester United in January, and the players perspective, a bit like Kobe Menu, is he wants to go out on loan to boost his chance of playing for the Netherlands in the World Cup. And now we have to understand whether Manchester United will allow that, or whether they will say exactly what they said to Kobe Menu, which is, you've got to stay, he said. West Ham's interest is genuine, and I guarantee that West Ham United will add a striker in January. It is their priority, the top priority. So a loan for Xerxes would be something that would be they would be very interested in. Talks haven't yet started, but keep an eye on that one in the build up to the January opening transfer window. So we'll keep an eye on that. And obviously whatever Ben Jacobs and the likes say, we'll dissect it. The question here now, according to Matt Law, is basically that should Man United move for Toney? Toney scored 72 goals and registered 23 assists in 141 appearances for Brentford, including 36 goals and 11 assists in 83 Premier League outings before making his move to Al Ahly in the summer of 2024. So that's pretty much 1 year ago. The striker has managed 39 goals and 8 assists in 56 appearances for his current side, including 9 goals, 2 assists in 12 outings this term. So he is very much a player in form. Man United will need another option in the final third of the field if Xerxes leaves in January, and Toney could also be the perfect signing, potentially on loan with a view to a permanent move next summer. Toney is proven in the Premier League and would give Man United a completely different threat in the final third of the field, but his wages could prove to be problematic with the Englishman on a substantial deal in Saudi Arabia. So guys, let me know in the chat, do you believe, should Man United go for Ivan Toney? We talked about Xerxes. I thought we were going to look at it in other news, but we've talked about Xerxes needing minutes and wanting to move. Yeah, it is what it is. Roberto, this one it's not going to happen, but I'm just going to give it to you guys because it is there. Robert Lewandowski, United is potentially monitoring Barcelona striker Robert Lewandowski's contract situation. He could become a free agent in the summer. We don't want him, but it is what it is. With regards to player news and updates, like I said to you earlier, Paul Parker has criticized Marcus Rashford, accusing him of laziness during his time at Man United. We've talked about it, we've dissected it and stuff. Aiden Heaven struggling for minutes. Defender Aiden Heaven has seen his playing time significantly reduced under Ruben Amorim this season, despite promising start during the last campaign. I think the media should just leave Aiden Heaven alone, bro. They should just leave him alone because he's a guy who is learning, and they should allow him to learn. Ideally, he's just 18. He still has a lot to learn, and all of that. There's Lenioro way ahead of him. There's Nusa Mazraoui there. There's Luke Shaw. Right? You should just let him go. Let him grow at the club. And then missed transfer target. Former Man United coach Benny McCarthy under Eric Ten Hag revealed that the club ignored his advice to sign 2 Premier League strikers last season, including Ivan Toney, and opting for Rashford and Rasmus Højlund instead. We will see that news. I might have to say it's not really it's not really basically the ideal news basically for Man United, because if you look at it, whether he suggested 2 strikers including Ivan Toney, that's nice, but he's not the one that makes decisions. That's why he's an assistant coach, right? But it is what it is. In other news, Amorim springs major surprise by including this superstar in the making in first team training, and that ahead of Brighton clash, and that is JJ Gabriel. JJ Gabriel has taken part in first team training for Manchester United. He posted it on his social media and all of that, and he's a young guy. He took part in senior training. He posted it on his Instagram, where he posted a picture of himself in the training gear following training. Interestingly, BBC Sports Simon Stone even revealed that the teenager was part of the 11v11 training match at Carrington. JJ Gabriel took part in an 11v11 training match today with MUFC first team squad. This was what, and then Fabrizio Romano posted Man United talent JJ Gabriel in first team training at 15 years old. Seen as one of the best talents of Man United Academy, key part of long-term project. Then I went and checked out Nathan Salt. Nathan Salt on TikTok broke it down properly and says, based on Premier League rule, he might not make Premier League start this season because he turned 15 this season. But if he was, like people asked about Max Dowman of Arsenal and stuff, but if he was 15 before the start of the season, he could probably have made a Premier League debut. So, but that he could potentially play in the FA Cup. But the truth is, it's good for him, JJ Gabriel, to be playing, training regularly with the first team, even though there were other players who trained regularly, who trained with the first team. But it's good for him to train regularly with the first team, so he gets an idea of what regular first team football is. And in truth, you could also think about it from the perspective of, what Ruben Amorim had done in the past, where he brought up young players like Giovanni Quenda to the team to play in the first team and stuff. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section and all of that. There's still other news before we kind of wrap everything up with regards to what is going on at Man United. One of them is why Man United have Anthony Robinson as the model for future transfer target. Ruben Amorim is still on the lookout for another player who can play the left wing back, despite already signing 2 players for that role since becoming Manchester United head coach. I think we also have a left wing back already who is doing really well in at Championship club. Sheffield Wednesday, I think. Yeah. So Man United have signed 5 players in summer transfer window after recruiting 2 new players in the winter prior, which was Ruben Amorim's first transfer window as head coach. In this time, United have signed 3 defenders who are all under the age of 20. That includes Aiden Heaven, 19. I said he was 18. He's 19. Okay. Diogo Leon, 18, and Patrick Dogo, 20. However, the jury is still out on a lot of players, and Amorim is still in the process of rebuilding his squad. The Portuguese coach will eventually want to have options available for each position, as well as players who are versatile enough to operate in multiple roles. So yeah, there's a chance that we will go for Anthony Robinson. We're keeping an eye on him, but it's just the only rumor. The rumor is basically, Give Me Sport. Yeah, Give Me Sport saying that. And Anthony Robinson had an impressive start. I think he's 27, 28. So we shall see. That's That's according to United in Focus as well. We shall see. There's a whole lot of news we can talk about and stuff like that. But yeah, speaking of the Manchester United versus Brighton game, what do you guys think? Man United is going to see that game as a very tough game. Man United is going to see that game as a very important game that we will need to actually thrive as a team, and it's a momentum game. We need to win that game. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. My prediction for the game I've already done in the match preview that I've posted already on the channel. Go watch it. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as well. I've done my predicted lineup and stuff, but Man United will play Brighton on Saturday, and we look forward to how the game will pan out and how Man United will perform on that day. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. We might potentially do a live watch along, but we'll see how things pan out. But yeah, drop your comments in the comment section. Let's do a deep dive. Let's break down. Let's have community conversations and continue to build our community together. I don't take your likes, your shares, and your subscriptions for granted. Please do like the video. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Like I said, always, please do like, share, and subscribe. To all those who support this channel, however you want support, I really appreciate. I don't take it for granted, and I really appreciate all your support. And if you want to kind of, support the channel, just reach out to us, and we'll let you know how you can support the channel. But to all those who are the major supporters of the channel, those that come and join us on the live, I really appreciate you. We'll continue to grow. We'll continue to evolve, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.